Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 2, Episode 152. This morning, on my way to the first casino, I just off the cuff decided that I wanted to do an episode on pit bosses, what pit bosses are, what they do, and all that. And I just published that this morning. I didn't have any notes, so excuse any errors. I wanted to add some more things to it. But I didn't remember those stories at the time, and I may add to it later on. But I think it's a pretty decent episode, and it describes things pretty well. If I missed some things, if you want me to add some things, if I got some things wrong, let me know, and I'll be happy to either add to that episode or to scrap that episode and do it over again if it's totally wrong. But I think I got it pretty right. There are some stories I'd like to have added to it, but that's all right. This morning, I am going on my normal route for this week in the month and this time of the year, and I actually considered changing it to a more lucrative route, but I decided not to do so. So I'm just doing my normal thing for a Friday at the end of a month. Right now, I just left my first casino. It's already 9 a.m. I used my time driving to the first casino to do that other episode. So right now, 39 degrees, December 22nd, 2023. The year is almost over, guys. I'm probably going to only do 2 or 3 more episodes this year. Probably not going to get too much more gambling, maybe 4 more episodes. I'll be spending some time with the family. So, if you don't see episodes, I'm not dead. Hopefully, I'm not dead. I'm just in the middle between things. So, this morning, I stopped at one casino already. I played for about half an hour or 40 minutes, somewhere in there. I found a couple very borderline plays. If you remember, I had mentioned a $15 play that I'd just not played a few times because it was borderline. I did end up playing that the other day. I think I just made a little bit on there, not much, maybe $100 or $140, something like that. So it wasn't that great. But now, instead of being tortured by a $15 play that I don't want to play, I'm being tortured by a $25 play. $25 a spin. And if I needed points, I would play it. If there was something to earn, I would probably do it. It's very borderline. I wish I could explain how borderline it is. It's extremely borderline, but one step away with this game could mean an extra 100 spins or more at $25 would totally wipe out my EV. So for now, I'm staying away from it. I'm hoping someone else will contribute a little bit of money, get it over the hump so I can play it. But on my way out of this casino, I was talking to a guy who used to be a host who is now in security, which is very different. And I asked him why he did it, and he kind of struggled at first, so it made me think maybe he did something wrong, but I'm not really sure. But he kind of said he's getting older and he didn't want to deal with all the bureaucracy and the company getting larger and all that. And I think I believe him. But it was funny because I had just finished the episode about pit bosses and how a lot of them are former dealers who don't want all the work of being a dealer, all the physical activity and the stretching and all that kind of stuff, reaching for chips and things like that. And they just want something a little bit easier, even though there's more paperwork. And he started describing to me about his wife and his son, who are both top tier at this company, and what they did and where they traveled and their comps and things like that. And it made me wonder if there's a little bit of advantage player in him, because whenever he sees me walking around, he always smiles and waves to me. And he was not the nicest guy to me when he was my host. And I even mentioned that to him. Initially, I walked up to him just to say, Merry Christmas in case I don't see you. But then I brought that up. I'm like, man, I used to lose a bunch of money, and I'd come up to you and ask you for something, and you couldn't even give me the smallest thing. And he blamed bureaucracy on that, but I don't know. I think he could have done something. But Anyway, I ended up playing 3 or 4 machines, looking at a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff was borderline, and I didn't play it. And I ended the session plus $143. So plus $143, not a bad little start. And we're moving on to the next place. Today it's, if I didn't mention it, 39 degrees, cloudy skies. I think it's going to end up being a nice day by the time everything is over, but right now, it's kind of a gloomy day, but at least the sun is up. So that's it for right now, and I'll update you after my next stop. All right, guys, I am back. So on the way to the next casino, I stopped, got some gas, got a little bit of breakfast. Feeling good. I continue on my trip, and have a couple phone calls I took, and everything's fine. I go into the next casino and start playing. Don't see anything at first, but then toward the end of my normal route that I take through the casino, I see a couple machines that I normally don't play, because some of them I've never seen in position, some very rarely in position. So I play one of those today and end up ahead like 170 on that machine. I think at that point I was about even for the day, and then continued on, played a couple other machines, and ended up that session ahead $230. Now, a lot of things happened in between there. I saw a lot of new Asian guys playing in there, and just overall, it was okay. It was a slow grind, but nothing too traumatic, so to speak. I get out to my car, and I have a news alert. And the news alert says, climate alarmists claim breathing is cause of global warming. Breathing. And this comes from a study last week at the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology. Found that human breathing is allegedly contributing to global warming, and this is due to us shifting from getting our protein from meat to getting it from plants, which causes higher gases produced in our systems, you know what that means, and contributes to global warming. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff like that you've been hearing for many years. Back in the early 70s, they were talking about global cooling destroying the world. And then in 1970, George Wald said that within 15 to 30 years, everybody would die, and that would be between 1985 and 2000. Obviously, we're still around. And he said that by 1980, 100 to 200 million people per year would starve to death. So that would mean that our population would have been pretty much down to zero by now, and that didn't happen. But all this up and down craziness. What I know is, if you look at the last 100,000 years, maybe not, maybe 10,000 years, we've got global warming. If you look at the last 2,000 years, we've got global cooling. The last 1,000 years, we've got global cooling. The last 50 years, we've got global cooling. It's just a matter of, if you say from last year to this year, on this date, the temperature went up by half a degree, and extrapolate that out and say in the next 50 years, the temperature's going up 25 degrees, of course everyone's going to panic. And you see like these polar bear pictures on TV. The polar bear is going to die because the ice that he's standing on is going to be gone in the next 20 years. Well, he's probably not going to live for 20 years, for one thing. And guess what? Polar bears move. They don't just sit on a block of ice and wait for it to melt and drown. And guess what else? They can swim, and they can swim long distances, like 100 miles. I don't think that they're going to die. So don't listen to alarmists on either side. I used to think this side or that side was wrong, and now I know that there's a lot of things that both sides on the political spectrum say that are absolutely wrong, and there's not one candidate out there, I don't think, that I 100% agree with. So think for yourself. Don't let the media do your thinking for you. All right, now I get off my soapbox here, get down real quick, make sure I don't fall down too far. All right, we're going to be moving on to another casino. We're going to get some blackjack in, we're going to get some slots in, hoping for a nice $1,000 hit on blackjack today, and then we'll see where we're going to go from there. Right now, it's already getting pretty late. It's already almost noon, so by the time I get to this place, all the tables should be open in the high limit, and we should be able to get some good play in. So right now, I'm going to let you go, and then I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. Wow, holy moly, unbelievable. What crazy stuff that I just saw. Don't worry, I didn't win much, but this is so sick. What I saw was so sick. That's all I have to say. I go into this casino. Everything's normal day, nothing going on. I walk up to a table. There's no $50 tables available. There's only a $100 table. Okay, what the heck? I'll sit down at a $100 table. Which is crazy because the pit boss comes up as soon as I buy in. I'm buying for $500. Pit boss comes up and says, she says, do you mind if I drop the limit down to 50? We have some people who kind of get nervous when it's 100. And if it's okay with you, I'll drop it to 50. And I'm like, sounds good to me. I don't want to play 100. I'd rather play 50. And so she drops it down to 50. And I'm like, okay, let's go. There's nobody around. Let's go. And this guy comes around the table. Just a disclaimer here. I don't hate anybody, all right? And when I describe people because this is the way my eye sees people, all right? The guy comes to the table, taller guy, probably, I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", right? Kind of stocky, not fat, but like muscular. He looks like a Mexican guy. His hands look like he works with his hands. And he's got like a work jacket on, right? He comes to the table, and he's got a pile of chips that's like a crazy. It's like it's $1,000 chips, 500s, 100s, 25s, 5s, 1s, all mixed together, and it's like there's like a bunch of confetti, right? So he's got a big stack of all these chips. And then he's got chips in his pocket as well. And he'll start by playing like 2 hands of 3,000. Table limit's 5,000. Then go to 2 hands of 5,000. Then 3 hands of 5,000. Then 2 hands of 5,000 and 1 hand of 300. And then he's tipping the dealer like $100 every hand that he's winning. He probably tipped the dealer $3,000 or $4,000 easy. And he's complaining, and I can't understand what he's saying. He's trying to speak in English, but I can't understand what he's saying. And later on, I figure out, when we're out smoking together, which that's exciting, right? That he's Russian. I look at his phone, and I see Russian writing, and I figure out, yes, this accent is Russian. It's not whatever the hell I thought it was before. It's Russian. So this guy's playing nuts, and he gets in the table right before the first hand, so we're stuck together, no mid-shoe entry, no one's gonna come in, everything's fine, we start playing. He's playing this craziness, and I'm okay. I play my own hands. I just don't want a lot of excitement going on. I don't want the count to go sky high, and then for me to lose a bunch of hands, and then now I gotta really, get a lot of attention. So luckily for me, we had low counts for a long time. I don't know if that's really lucky or not, but we had low counts for a long time. So he gets a hand. He's got $3,500 out on it. He's got an ace 6 against a 5 for $3,500. He said, "What do you think?" I said, "Double." He did all these things in Russian, and I have no clue what he's saying. And he won't make a signal. I said, "Look, if you want me to put the $3,500 in, I'll put in $3,500. No, she's gonna get this and that, and I don't have no clue what he's saying." So okay, so he stays. I have an 11. I double down. Do you want to take a couple stabs at what I had, at what I got? I got the 4. That would have given us a 21 on his $3,500 hand. we both end up losing the hand instead of both of us winning the hand. So the dealer, I think, had a 5, and then ended up with a 21 and would have busted. So whatever. All right. So I'm like, I would have done it too. I would have done the $3,500 on that hand. Why not? It's positive EV. It's a good hand, and I'm not going to look up the exact amount of edge that we had, but I would say it's probably 7 or 8% edge. I don't know for sure, but someone will tell me. I can look it up on Michael Shackelford's calculator. But anyway, this guy had me exhausted with the way he was playing. Every time he got a 12 against a 10, double down, gets a 10. I'm like, dude, give me a break, you know? And we lost a lot of hands because of his play, and I'm not pointing at his play. I understand the long term, I understand the math, but this guy was exhausting. So I have a hand here. I actually stood up and took a picture because you're not allowed to take a picture, and if you ask, then they'll tell you no. So it looks like he had either 3,000 or 4,000, I can't really tell. I think it's 3,000 a hand. First hand, he gets a blackjack. Second hand, he gets 2 2s, okay? The dealer has an 8. 2 2s against the dealer 8. What do you do, everyone? In unison, let's go. Everybody knows you hit it, you don't split it. So he ends up with a third 2. And so he splits it to three hands. Now he's got 3,000 a hand out there for 3 hands. And he ends up with a 15 on the first hand, a 19 on the second hand, and then he doubles the third hand. No, he doubles the second and the third hand. So he had a 9, he doubles it, gets a 19. The other hand, he ends up with a 10, doubles it, gets a 15. And I'm thinking, this dealer is going to end up paying this guy off and just making him do this stupid stuff even more. Dealer has an 8 showing, turns over a 9 for a 17, and the guy ends up losing on the first hand for 3,000, winning 6,000 on the second hand, and losing 6,000 on the third hand, so he lost $3,000. What would have happened otherwise? I've got this picture right here. He would have had a 17 and pushed his hand. It was, he would have had a 19 and won his hand if he had hit it, because he had 222, 310. So he would have had, instead of winning $3,000, he ends up losing $3,000. So this is the type of stuff that this guy was doing. So absolutely insanity. All right, so then he gets to the point where he's bought in for a total of $45,000, and he'll just throw 10,000 at the dealer, and then he'll be like, okay, stop counting. That's enough. Just give me that much in chips. Okay, you throw another big stack and then tell her to stop, and they would give it back to him. And a lot of casinos I've gone to, once you hand it to the dealer, you can't get the cash back. You'd have to get chips and then go cash them out. So he ends up down, he's down about 5,000 or 6,000, and he decides he wants a smoke break. He said, I'm going to go smoke, wait for me. I'm like, I can't wait for you. This is a no mid-shoe entry. Why don't we play one hand together? We'll go smoke together, and then we'll come back. That way no one can get in the shoe. You know, we're taking a break for a second. So he puts 100 out. He wins the hand. I put 50 out. I win the hand. We go smoke. Go to the smoking area, and we talk for a while. It turns out he's a truck driver. He owns a trucking company. He's on his way to New Jersey, and he's telling me he makes about $30,000 a month. And he thought that I was a dispatcher, and he was offering me a job for $6,000 or $6,500 a week. I'm like, where do I sign up? You know? Oh, you're not a dispatcher? No, never mind. I'm like, cheesy. So this guy's got a little bit of cash. So I don't know what's going on or what he's shipping exactly, but he's got a lot of money. So we come back to the table. He's still doing his stuff with, oh, I got a 12 against a 10 for 5,000. Double down, bust. And ridiculousness up and down. He ends up leaving down $60,000. $60,000, make me want to cry. $60,000, and I'm sitting here at this table like a pauper, trying to make $75 an hour, and he just lost $60,000. Ooh, it's like punching me in the gut. And then he's like, can I eat at the table? And they're like, no, you can't eat. Okay, then I'm just going to go eat. Never mind, I don't need this place. I'm like, geez, he overeating. So he walks away. I've got my ups and downs, but I'm in a narrow range between, I was up like 400 immediately. At my low point, I was only down like 800, 850, something like that. And I was able to spread 50 to 300, but the counts never really got good. So I probably had 300 out only a couple times. And after he left, I was ahead exactly 500. Played a few more hands. Count went negative. I decided to get up exhausted, mentally exhausted about, sitting next to this guy. And I left ahead 500 exactly. So plus 500 there. I went and, well, let me just say, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought there. All right, so I had 500 there. And then one thing he did is when he was completely out of money, he just had, well, he wasn't completely out of money. He had cash in his pocket, but he was taking all the 25 and $5 chips and just throwing them in a little cup. He eventually played those. He had like $300 worth. He played those one hand, and he had a $2.50 chip, and he played that for the dealer, and he won the hand. He doubles it up, and he takes the $5 the dealer just got and puts it on top of his stack and loses it. So I end up talking to the pit boss when I left, not that it matters, and told him I don't know if they're going to give it to the dealer or not, but and then he lost that second hand when he doubled it up. So that was that. At that point, I went and cashed out and decided just to take a quick lap and look at slots on my way out. I found one machine that was in position. I played that through, had a great ride on that machine, and at $3 a spin, and ended up leaving ahead 370. So plus 370 on slots, plus 500 on blackjack, moving on to the next place. I'm actually walking into the next place right now. So you're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I'm back. Went to the next place, and it was kind of crowded for a Friday afternoon, early afternoon, but really not much going on in there. A lot of the machines that I wanted to check had someone sitting at them already. So I took a lap and then took a break, went to the bathroom, relaxed a little bit, came back around again, and found nothing. So I found nothing at all to play. And I actually made $1, found $1 in a machine, and that was it. So never spun any reels, and I was in and out of there in no time. There were a few games that were in range, and it looked like people were camped out at those games playing. And then there was another one that I could tell this Asian lady was playing very aggressively, and she knew what she was doing. So you see some of these people playing slots. They're running around like crazy, pushing buttons like crazy, wearing masks. Most people are not wearing masks still, unless you're a card counter, a advantage player. You're hiding from someone. Most people are hiding from someone now. If COVID or whatever is that deadly that you could die, why are you in a casino? Just saying. Think about it. Think it through. If you could really die and you're at that high of a risk, do you really want to play that badly? Couldn't you play online or on your phone? So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Right now, I'm heading off to another place. I'm a little bit behind schedule, but not too bad. And hopefully we'll have some more luck there. We haven't lost at any place yet. So let's continue the trend here. Letting you go for now, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. So when I was pulling into this place, my friend Coach called me, and we had a conversation for a few minutes. Always nice to hear from him. And I walked into this place and started looking around and didn't find very much. I played one okay play, and it paid me like $107 or so. And I moved on, saw another play that technically was in the money, but you never know. This machine could really hurt you bad on the run up, and it did. So by the time I left that machine, I went from being ahead 107, I think, to being down 7. So and that was at the minimum bet level, like 75 cents or 80 cents, something like that. So that didn't feel very good. Walked around and started seeing some people checking machines. I had seen, I'm actually going home in a similar route as when I came out. So this casino is the only casino that is the same on my way out and on the way home when I go this direction. So I had seen this Asian guy playing this machine this morning, and right now I just saw him still hawking that machine, sitting behind the machine and watching it. And then I saw an Asian lady, and a lady got up from a machine. I was 15 feet away, and she got there before me. And then a few minutes later, I saw her on another machine checking that one that someone had just gotten up from. So some of these guys are just sitting feet away, just watching it, looking innocent, but they're ready to pounce as soon as someone gets up. So did anyone notice the price of gas went up today? Or the last couple days? It seems like it's about 40 or 50 cents higher than normal. Hate that, of course, but get some nice discounts, and I'm usually still okay. So while I was in there, now I'm down 7. I see a couple friends of mine, talk to them for a while, and then I'm like, well, I've checked everything out. It's time to go, but I want to give it just a few more minutes just in case. So I had some free food for the first time in a long time at this place. So I got a sub, and I ate that. I came back out and looked around, and I saw a lady on a machine that's really an iffy machine. It's a machine that I find myself getting on more than I should, I think. But anyway, it was very, very close to being in position. I walked around, came back, and it was still right about the same spot. And the machine behind it technically is beatable, but it is such a hard machine to beat. So I went through the motions, and I checked it, and I found a play. And boy, did I find a play at $3 a spin. I found a play that was so ridiculous. I thought I took a picture of the initial screen, but I didn't. But within one spin at $3, it paid $458.80 on that first spin. And by the time I finished spinning, it was only like 4 games total or something like that. 4 spins total that I had to spin to get to the end game. I had gone from a $93 ticket to a $658 ticket. So needless to say, I was very excited. I took a few pictures of that. It's a game that really almost no one plays. It's very rare to ever find it in position, and I just lucked out. And even with all these people in here checking machines, none of them found it because it's hardly ever worth checking. And then there's another machine that was kind of cool that people don't really fully understand as well. And I played that one. That one was only 5 spins at $10 a spin, and that one paid approximately, well, let me see, where was I? $658, and then I ended up at $718, so I ended up ahead about $150. No, I'm sorry, $658. So I ended up ahead about $60 on that one. So that was good. I ended up ahead $620 by the time I finished everything up. So that felt pretty good to get that nice little boost toward the end of my day. And my wife called me earlier and had told me about this guy who details cars, and we have a minivan for the family, and the seats are just disgusting. And she had this guy who details cars who would come out to your house and do it. And so he came out and he charged her $180, which normally I would think that was high, but I don't think it's high anymore. But these seats were so gross, and now they're 85 to 90% better. They're almost clean. So very happy about that. We're gonna see if maybe tomorrow we can get some seat covers for that car so it doesn't get dirty again. And right now I am heading off to my next spot. It's 54 degrees. It's 4:15, so soon rush hour is going to be starting, so it'd be nice to get out of town as soon as possible. I'm still about a half hour away from that next casino, and it is in the downtown of the city, so I'll be very happy to get out of town when I'm done there. So heading out there right now, going to play a little bit and then head home, and I think we as a family are going to head out for dinner a little bit late tonight, but we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hop in the next spot, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. I went into the next place, and just started raining, actually. So I go in there, and it is very busy in there. I looked around and really only found a couple small plays, and then I looked at this machine that very few people play, that I like to play, and found some plays on that. Played that, ended up ahead slightly, and then found a couple just barely borderline plays, and I gave it a shot even though it was borderline, and normally I don't. And at my lowest point I was down as much as 480 or so, and I ended up leaving the entire casino after a lot of other plays after this too, minus 210. So minus 210, you know, I saw a lot of things that had a lot of potential, but people were sitting there. I saw the couple that was ejected from another casino in the area there, just doing their creeping, I guess is a good word, walking slowly and silently, and have their mask on. It's like you just walk into a casino, see who has a mask on. If they're not on oxygen and they have a mask on, then they're probably hustling something or cheating somebody or robbing somebody. So anyway, ended the session, unfortunately, minus 210. That's the only loss of the day. Still ended the day ahead around $1,650, and I believe the week maybe around plus 7,000. I'm not sure. I'll have to check all my numbers. I think we had plus over 8 last week and over 7 this week, and we're starting to close in on our final week and our final push to make money, but there's no way. I can't see it happening unless I win some ridiculous jackpot that I'm not even going for, and I luck out into it, because I'm just not going to play anything big enough. Now I probably will have 3 days of blackjack next week, and that could do it, but we'll see. So I'll update the numbers. I already forgot everything I told you at the beginning of the week. I'll update the numbers at home and see where I'm at. I think right at this moment, don't quote me, but I think I'm 11 away from my goal, which is not terrible. I think I can probably get to within 5, which I would count as a success, but we'll see what happens. Right now it's dark outside. I talked to my wife. We were planning on taking the entire family, that's right, everybody, to a casino that has a hotel and restaurant attached to it, that also happens to be part of a group that I have the top tier card with, and I have a lot of money that I have to use soon, or it's going to be expiring. So we're going to try to go over there and go to the restaurant and get anything that we could ever want and spend a few $100 and have a good time there. So I gave her a choice. I said I can be home at this hour, and then we can go there. It's another 45 minutes, or I can meet you there, and you know, we can get to eating 45 minutes earlier. And she said come all the way home and then go all the way back. So I'm about to get back on the phone with her here in a minute, try to convince her otherwise. But if so, it's going to be a long night of driving all the way home, then all the way back to a casino, then all the way home again with the whole family. Overall, had a decent week. Still not feeling great about it. I'm going to look forward to the next few days. So I've been going non-stop now for I have no idea how long. I mean, since last Christmas. I mean, but did I ever take 3 or 4 days off? I don't think I have. And we didn't go, oh, we went on a cruise, but even on the cruise, I played on there. So I don't think I've had more than 3 straight days off this entire year. And it's going to be nice to get 3 days. It's going to feel good to be with the family. My wife called me a little bit ago, as I said, and she told me the car turned out great. And because my wife is a rich woman, and even though her husband's a poor man, she gave the guy a $60 tip. Which makes me want to slap my face. Anyway, all is good. And the week is over. And I will see everybody after Christmas. I hope everyone has a great Christmas. I love you all. I'm so proud of everybody. Let's keep working together as a team. Let's have some future things together and work together and take more money from the casinos. And I will talk to you guys after Christmas. If you have any questions or comments, it's mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.